All right, everybody, welcome in to the Rack episode 4. My name is Danny Keeler. I'm your host, and the NBA Cup quarterfinals are underway. Last night, December 9th, the Miami Heat defeated the Orlando Magic, and the New York Knicks defeated the Toronto Raptors, and we're going to break down both games. So first, I'm going to briefly explain what is at stake for the NBA Cup. So last night were the East quarterfinals. Tonight is going to be the West quarterfinals. And for being in the tournament, I believe they mentioned on the Prime Video broadcast last night that there's prize money ranging from $50,000 for most players up to maybe a little over $200,000. And I think coaching staffs get some of it, get some money, and two-way players from each team get some money. So all in all, everyone, there's a chance to get money. So that will have players invested. And the semifinals will take place on Saturday, December 13th. So this Saturday, and the Cup final will take place on Tuesday, December 16th. I should also note that the semifinals and the final will be on the neutral court in Las Vegas. So the first game of the Prime Video doubleheader last night was the Magic and the Heat. The Magic won the game 117-108. Desmond Bane on the Magic was the game's highest scorer. He had 37 points, and he was 6 for 9 on threes, and much needed scoring output from him. Franz Wagner, who for the Magic, I believe, is averaging 23 points per game. He did not play in that game last night due to injury. They mentioned on the broadcast that the Knicks game, they played the Knicks on Sunday, and he suffered a high ankle sprain, so I would assume he'll be out. Well, he'll definitely be out for the upcoming Cup game or games for the Magic. But yeah, Desmond Bane, like I said, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and he averages 19 points per game, so nearly doubling his regular scoring output. And Bane, he's 6'6", 215. He's a strong guy, or he's strong. He can really shoot the ball. He can move without the ball. He can hit floaters when he's run off the three-point line. So he's a good scorer, and he upped his scoring output last night for sure. Paolo Banchero, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 1 block, and he was 6 for 7 on free throws. Jalen Suggs finished with 20 points. He's averaging 15 points per game. And on the Heat side, Andrew Wiggins and Bam Adebayo each had 19 points. And Tyler Hero and Norman Powell combined for just 41 points and a combined 15 for 36 from the field. And the Heat were 8 for 33 from the three-point line. And the Magic were 15 for 32 from the three-point line. So overall three-point shooting, the Magic getting a decent margin there. And the two guards of the Heat's two main guards, not really efficient, although Powell and Hero were efficient in the first half. The inefficiency really started to pile up in the second half for them. And, for the game, the Heat got off to a good start. They started the game 15-0, less than 3 minutes into the game, and they led 30-17 after the first quarter. And from that point on, the Magic outscored them 100-78. So, and Hero and Powell, like I said in the first half, they were combined 8 for 16. So did not keep that efficiency up in the second half. Davion Mitchell for the Heat is someone I want to highlight. He played 37 minutes in this game. He's averaging 30 minutes per game in the season, 10 points, 8 assists. And his previous high mark was about 5 a game for assists in a season. So this season, he's averaging 8 assists now, albeit Hero has dealt with injuries, so maybe his assist averages will go down a little bit now that Hero will be back and presumably have the ball more in his hands. But yeah, and with Mitchell, he's really quick. He's about 6 feet tall, I think, on NBA.com. They have him listed at 6 feet tall. Some of the velocity he puts on some of his passes, there were at least 1 or 2 passes last night where he just rifles them with his right hand, and one of them he rifled Adebayo, and Adebayo gathered and had an open dunk. So yeah, he's really just seems to have high motor. He's quick. He can take guys off the dribble. So at halftime of this one, it was 57-56 for the Heat. And the Magic took the lead later in the third quarter, and they later extended it to double digits in the fourth quarter. I really like the makeup of this Magic team. They started the season 1-4, and since then they are 14-6. Obviously, Franz Wagner, he'll be out a good chunk of games, so they'll be without him when they play the Knicks on Saturday. And speaking of the Knicks defeated the Toronto Raptors last night, 117-101. Jalen Brunson led all scorers with 35 points, 20 of those coming in the first quarter. He started off the game blazing. Josh Hart was great. He had 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He was 4 for 7 on threes, so pretty good shooting game from Josh Hart. Karl-Anthony Towns, not a crazy game from him. He had 14 points, 16 rebounds, 5 of those being offensive rebounds. And maybe the highlight of the night was a dunk he had. Ferocious dunk in the second quarter. He faked a handoff to, I believe, Mikal Bridges, and he was like at the top center of the three-point line, and he just took Pirtle off the dribble with his left hand and then dunked with his right hand over Pirtle and Scotty Barnes coming in to rotate to try to do something. But yeah, so dunked pretty much over 2 guys. It was just a ferocious play from him. So in this one, on the Raptors side, Brandon Ingram had an efficient game. He had 31 points on 11 for 18 shooting. He had 17 points in the first quarter, so him and Jalen Brunson, there were a couple possessions where they were just like going back and forth making shots. The Raptors were without Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. The Knicks were without Miles McBride and Landry Shamet, so I think probably more of a gash the Raptors had to their rotation last night. And their second leading scorer was Jamal Shed. He had 18 points. He had 8 assists and 1 turnover, so really good assist-to-turnover ratio for him there. Scotty Barnes is averaging 20 points per game, but just scored 13 in this game. And for threes, the Knicks were 16 for 35, and the Raptors were just 11 for 38, so decent margin there. The Knicks missed 11 free throws, and the Raptors missed 6. The Raptors were intentionally fouling Mitchell Robinson, who is a terrible free throw shooter. I think on the broadcast last night they said on the season he's around like 19%, which is really, really bad. And he was 2 for 8 from the free throw line. And one of his free throw misses when he was at the line did get tipped, and he corralled the rebound and passed it to Brunson for a 3. So if you're able to turn a missed free throw into a 3, that's a positive. So, and yeah, in this game, the Raptors got off to a good start. The score at the end of the first quarter was 39-35 Raptors. And like I said, Ingram started hot. Karl-Anthony Towns picked up 2 fouls in the first, and he was subbed out. And yeah, and on the broadcast, they mentioned that Brunson's point total in the first quarter last night was the most he's had in a first quarter in a game this season. And then the second quarter came, and the Knicks outscored the Raptors 34-13. It is hard for an NBA team to win a game when you score 13. Any NBA team that scores 13 points in a quarter, it's hard to win a game that way. And like I said, Cat's dunk was in that second quarter as well. And Brunson was out of the game to start the second quarter. He didn't sub back in till the 7-minute and 24-second mark. And they had a 47-41 lead. So they were able to get the lead back while Brunson was getting rest. And they ended up finishing the half up 69-52. And they just came out in the third quarter rolling. And for the rest of the game, from that point on, the score the Raptors, I don't believe, got within 14 points. I think the closest they got the game down was like 14 points, and it did not get any closer than that for the rest of the game. Mikal Bridges of the Knicks had a good fourth quarter. He had 10 points. Yeah, like I said, the Knicks just kept the lead. They were able to maintain the lead, and a good win for them, especially when, my takeaway here is just the talent disparity last night of these two teams, especially with the Raptors being depleted. The Raptors were the home team, and Toronto is a loud environment. They have a good crowd there, but just simply not enough. Brunson going off, doing his thing. Even with Ingram showing up like he did, just really not enough. Like I said, Jamal Shed had 18 points. He was the Raptors' second leading scorer, so no other Raptor scoring over 20 points besides Brandon Ingram. And yeah, so talked about the Magic, just finished talking about the Knicks. They will meet on Saturday in the Cup semifinals of the Eastern Conference. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I think for that game, I think the Knicks should win that game. I do really like this Magic squad. But the Magic being without Franz Wagner, I would definitely have to give the edge to the Knicks. And yeah, you never know though. Never know. This Magic team, they're pretty good. Like I said, when they played the Heat, they were down 15-0 in the first quarter. They were able to stay composed and regain the lead and win that game. So I think it should be a good game regardless, but I would expect the Knicks to win that one. Okay, that will be it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. As always, I'm Danny Keeler, and I will see you in the next one.